Yeah, yeah.
It just needs rather picking up. It just needs to
Okay, thanks very much. I just wanted to talk a little bit about war and racism in the context of this discussion. The cost of the Afghan war from 2010 to 2014 is estimated at £20 billion, which is the same amount of money that the Tories are planning to cut from the health service. And it seems, a complete no-brainer, I guess, to all of us here, that you could end these wars and find the money for health or education or housing or all the other things that we've been talking about. And I think we have to put this austerity in a bigger context, because it isn't about there's no money there. It isn't about that they can't afford to give people bigger houses. It's about a set of political priorities which our government has and which it is determined to force through against the poorest people in the country. And that is what the austerity measures are all about. So we have not just the rich getting richer, but the inequality between the rich and poor is getting bigger and bigger all the time. Where does war fit into this? Well, there's two things really I want to say about it. Firstly, we spend a huge amount of money on so-called defence, the military, and war-related issues. The 20 billion on Afghanistan is just a drop in the ocean. The 100 billion, it is estimated, the full cost of refitting the Trident nuclear submarine system, which, when you think about nuclear weapons, and we hear a great deal about chemical weapons, but actually nuclear weapons are the most dangerous weapons, and this country has rather a large number of them, as does most of its allies. So there's the simple cost. Britain has the biggest army in Europe, and it's very keen to have the biggest army in Europe because it gives it a clout in terms of being able to say we are a great power. Now, one of the things that is important is how we can fight back, and the point that's been made by Rania and the point that's been made by different speakers about how do we fight back. Well, there's one very important lesson we should learn. That nearly a month ago now, David Cameron got defeated in Parliament. He got defeated in Parliament over the question of war. This is a remarkable thing to have happened. There's all sorts of historians who say they don't know whether it was in the 1780s or the 1850s or whatever it was when the British Prime Minister last got defeated over a war. But the truth of the matter is it is a very rare occurrence. Even if you think about the 20th century, the only times that something approaching this happened were in 1940 when Neville Chamberlain was thrown out over the Norway campaign, and again in 1956, where as a result of the disastrous Suez campaign, Anthony Eden had to resign. So this is a big problem for Cameron. It's a huge problem. We stopped the war. We didn't stop the war 10 years ago, but we stopped the war this time, and it was about people campaigning then. It was about the arguments that we put then. It was about getting people on the streets then. And people always feel it's terrible if you don't win things instantly. There's a great sense of frustration, and people feel, quite rightly, that many individuals suffer terribly as a result of not winning things instantly. The people who are being evicted, the people who are getting their benefits cut, and all of those other things. But that defeat of Cameron shows you that public opinion and anti-war campaigning can work, and that is true against austerity as well. That vote had a huge impact. It stopped Obama from going to war. We were told 10 years ago they didn't really care whether Britain went to war with them. That was a lie. We were told all sorts of things which turned out not to be the case, and now we have taken that war, at least that intervention, at least for the time being, off the table, and it is not going to happen. We need to do much more than that, because this government is addicted to war, and we need to be able to campaign to make sure that we do have welfare, not warfare, that the money which is spent on weapons and war is spent on the things making the lives of people in this country better, and if we're going to put money anywhere outside of Britain, let's make sure it goes to actually providing the sorts of things that people need. The humanitarian aid estimated to solve the refugee problem in Syria at the moment is something like £2 billion would solve that problem. Now £2 billion I calculated is 666 cruise missiles, and they would have fired far more than that if they had had that military intervention. So I think those things are important, and just to conclude, I think it's absolutely vital that we keep protesting. We must never give up with protesting. We should never think there's no point to it, or we should never think it isn't worth doing, because actually, if you look time and time again, you find that protest works. So we have to go to Manchester on Sunday. As many of us as possible who can get there have to be there. On November the 5th, we're talking about a day of action, which should be a bonfire of austerity, where we should make sure that they know exactly our opposition to this austerity. There's all the things that people have talked about, the Weeks Past and all the other local campaigns that are going on. We have to keep fighting. We have to get it in the public mind, we have to get it in the media, we have to get it most importantly in the government's mind, that if they mess with us, they are not going to succeed.